everybody, welcome back to the Mill Made channel. My name is Josh Miller. Today we are going to spin up some resin and driftwood that my buddy over at Woodworks sent me. Some of you may remember I sent him a blank a few months ago that he turned on his channel. I'll link that one of these corners somewhere. He was courteous enough to send me a blank of his own. We're going to see what we can make out of this thing. Let's get started. I should really make a mallet. Alright, so we're getting into this driftwood, and some of it's pretty soft, which is probably why it is grabby. It's definitely wants to grab the tool and pull it into the work. But I think a little bit of CA glue and I'll be able to strengthen it up a little bit. That way it's not so much of a problem. So let's see. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and I think I got the general outside shape pretty good where I want it for now anyways. I'll finish up the final shape when I get the two pieces back together, but I'm gonna go ahead and draw me a line about in this area right here, and then I'll use a hacksaw and I'll cut it in half, trying to follow that line. I was gonna try to use a parting tool, but I think I'll lose too much material. I want to try to keep it as big as it is right now and lose as minimal material as possible. So let's get to it. Should have used the parting tool. Okay, after that unnecessarily long task, I chucked up the piece that will become the base, got it back on the lathe, and started the process of hollowing it out. Okay, so what I did off camera is I was getting a lot of chip out and stuff, so I filled it out some spots with super glue, and like right here and right here, I took the dust that's coming off the lathe, but these will fill the cavities in and give me something to turn away. It's gonna look a little funny against the rest of the material. It saves any spots that might crack and blow out, so I'm hoping that'll save this rim a little bit more. And I've got super glue all around these wooden pieces, so soaked everything up, try to make sure that I don't lose any more material. Everything's looking good though. I'm loving the friggin' look of it. Alright, so I've got it about the depth that I want. If I go any deeper, I'm gonna take a chance on busting to the bottom. So I'm gonna run 100 grit on it, see if I can't get some of this tear out down to a manageable size. If not, I'll backfill these voids with super glue, CA glue, whatever you want to call it. And then once we get that done, I will slap the lid on here. We'll start making the joining, I don't know, I guess you'd call it mortise. This is the tenon, so mortise. Yeah, we'll see what it looks like after I hit it with this. Da-da-da-da! Alright, we're gonna try see how the polishing turns out. So these are called micro mesh pads. It's got their own grit system. It's from like 1100 up to 12,000. I've used them to polish CA finishes on rings and stuff like that, so we'll see how it turns out. There's going to be spots that it's not going to look great just because I can tell in the surface, but I'm afraid if I keep sanding, the wood's going to sand away before the resin does, where the wood's in some spots is really, really soft. So we're going to see how it looks when it's done. These dividers get me close to the diameter that I need for the pot, for the lid. So what I'll do is I'll push one end in to one side until this line that's cutting into this piece lines up with this point. That'll get me a good reference line. And once I push this surface back to that reference line, I'll start test fitting it with the pot, and then we'll get it a good tight fit. So let's go. Okay, so once the fit was where I wanted it, at this point I'm going to run through the grits on the lid, the inside of the lid, take it through the micro mesh just like I did the base, and then I'll put the base against the lid, and I'll slide it up against the tailstock and start finishing the outside. At this point, I've turned the piece around and put the lid against the tailstock. This is allowing me to go ahead and finish the top's final shape and finish the little finial type thing at the top. Alright, so we've got the lid turned, the base turned, the top finished mostly, except for this little nubbin thing. We got the inside polished up. It looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and polish the outside. It's going to be the same system as I showed on the inside of the base, so I'll probably cut most of it. It's going to be the same system on wet sand, 1000, 1200, then I'm going to do the micro mesh and go through that system right there. So I will get back with you as soon as I'm done with that, and we'll see how it looks. Woohoo! Alright, let's finish this little topper off, and I'll turn it around and turn that tenon off the base. This sucker will be done. The gloves I used, they might work actually. Well, just got a little marred up, but not the end of the world. Still looks good. Alright, there you have it. Nice little lidded box, good size to it. Thanks, Mr. Cook, for sending this out to me. Really appreciate it. Had a pretty good time turning it. It was a little bit more difficult than I expected it to be. Had a few issues out of it, but I got them all taken care of, and it turned out fairly well. So, stick around, check out the stills of it, or close-up shots. I'll have those up next. Till next time. Thanks, guys.